Despair. Seriously, that's all I have for the way in which national and world politics seems to be heading these days. And don't get me wrong, I love a bit of debate when it comes to two sides of an opposing coin, but let's get something straight here. When the debate is about the erosion of rights, be it trans women that you never knew had a penis, down in the pub having the right to use the bathroom that conforms to her identity. The Muslim man trying to get back to his wife and kids after visiting family back in one of the countries the President of the United States has arbitrarily banned travel from, unless you say you're a Christian. Even then, you better hope that the immigration officers aren't doing a Family Guy meme and holding up a Durex colour palette, refusing entry to those not above the imaginary line of acceptable skin tones. The EU-born wife of a Scottish man not knowing if she can keep what is in her mind a perfect existence. They're not rich, barely above what most would class as working class. But with the current UK government so far refusing to guarantee her rights as they stand, she's no idea if she will even be in the country in a little over 2 years' time.
It beggars belief that people like them and millions like them have had a question mark placed over their status, their peace of mind, their well-being in our great country because of the action, or rather the shameful inaction, of this government.
The homeless man living under a bridge in London, ironically trolled by the government, who has decided to spend £369 million on renovation of Buckingham Palace and a disgusting £5.6 billion on the Houses of Parliament.
But we've now got a new one. We can now also afford to pay up for the Queen's House. We can now find the money to refurbish Buckingham Palace. So my question to the Minister would be this: are we going to be doing up Downing Street anytime soon? Are there any other houses filled with millionaires that need to be done up, that need a lick of paint? Because it's a ridiculous notion that we can afford to fork out money for palaces, literal palaces like this in Buckingham Palace, but we can't pay pensions. It's a joke.
Instead of looking after those who are actually in desperate need. Approximately 1 million people are homeless in Britain. Simple maths, that's 5,600 per homeless person. Nearly double that of job seekers for a year. What is this? Or should I say, when is this? Is this some sort of weird Black Mirror episode where they're doing a retelling of the classic Robin Hood, but set in a dystopian alternative future? I can't get the image of Sir Hiss out of my head from Disney's animated version of the tale. How in the name of all that is just did we get here? Why are people in England constantly voting for an even more extreme right wing than they had before? Are they fed up with left-leaning policies that are inclusive to all? The Liberal Democrats get slaughtered in the last general election because they went with a big brother in the coalition too easily. So if people were fed up with the policies implemented at that time, why return the Conservatives in greater numbers? Why does someone like Nigel Farage, a pompous, self-serving, pro-Hunt twat, get elevated to a position of influencing our image abroad? We need to take a long hard look at ourselves over the next 3 years. Is this the kind of world we want our children and grandchildren born into? We need to learn how to debate. Shouting at each other is not the answer, and just emboldens those looking to prey on insecurities. A well thought out debate with good intentions, empathy and compassion will always rise above those stained with division, hate, fear and greed. The new Labour election theme from the 90s keeps ringing in the back of my mind. Things can only get better. Or can it? The UK government has, in the words of Nicola Sturgeon, not moved even an inch in pursuit of compromise and agreement. With regards to Scotland's position on the EU, in particular access to the single market.
Scotland will be leaving the European Union. It will leave the European Union either as a member of the United Kingdom, or were it independent, it's very clear with the Barroso document that it would not be a member of the European Union.
This has pushed Sturgeon into calling for a vote next week in the Scottish Parliament for the right to hold a second Scottish referendum. A position many will be on either the ecstatic "yes" side of the fence or the "for fuck's sake, not again" side. What the Scots need to remember is that for every passing month of this Tory government, that not only did we not vote for, but that the Prime Minister herself was not voted for by anyone. Is that Scotland's voice has been systematically shouted down and disregarded by an ever-increasingly right-wing government.
On the forthcoming negotiations,
I have to say, I have great respect for you as the chair, but I hope you can understand the frustration that we all feel that only 2 SNP MPs have been called in this debate, which is important to the future of Scotland and our position within Europe. And I'm asking what you can do to make sure in this debate that the voice of the people of Scotland is heard correctly. It has not been heard this evening to the extent that it should.
Can I just say to you, I walked into the chair, I've tried to ensure there was a second voice, which we're listening to. That's what I agreed to, and that's what I've done. In fairness, I think you've done better than was going to happen, and in which case, let's see what the Minister's got to say.
I'm not going to go over figures, this and that, in the pursuit of convincing you to vote yes. I shall leave that for another day. But instead appeal to your just and true souls on the matter of standing up for yourselves. We were told we would be better together, and 2 years later we were told we would be better away from the EU. We were promised wide-ranging changes and the now infamous vow on the front of the Daily Record the day before the Indy vote. Then Scotland's voice was quietened in Westminster with EVEL. We were told the only way to keep membership of the EU was to vote no in the indyref. Look what happened. The Prime Minister has said, and I quote, "Instead of playing politics with the future of our country, the Scottish Government should focus on delivering good government and public services for the people of Scotland. Politics is not a game." This is rich, considering her own party done this very thing and sent the UK as a whole into turmoil and economic uncertainty. They played a game to win votes from UKIP supporters, expecting not to lose the game. But again, look what happened. Cameron was desperate not to be the Prime Minister that had the UK break up in his watch, and will instead go down as the one who has initiated it and left the honour with his unelected successor. This is a second chance for all of us. The English are joking that Scotland is now the lifeboat of a once great union as it sinks into a mess of division, inequality and victimisation of the less fortunate. We need to man the boats, get the whistles out and save all we can. The Scots are known for their passion and caring nature. We're not a nation of two-time bottlers. We need to stand up, make our voice heard, and to quote the Leave campaign, take back control of our country, before the right wing in London destroys our spirit for generations to come.